Third and 13 listeners, what's going on? Welcome back to the pod. This is episode 8. Man, we are excited to get back and talk with y'all. I hope y'all had a chance to enjoy the last episode where we got to talk about the NFL playoffs a bit more. A lot of both of the AFC and NFC championship games. And tomorrow is Super Bowl Sunday. It's the biggest holiday of the year. That's not actually a holiday. It's one of the biggest events of the year. Honestly, the Super Bowl could probably rival Christmas. Okay, like people get together for the Super Bowl that don't have any interest in football at all. Like have huge parties, people rooting for teams that they ain't never watched a day in their life. Like it's an incredible event. I think it's a really good event too, just to get together with people and have fun. Like people really just, having some food. People like an excuse to get together and have food. And
Yep.
I guess a lot of people have a lot of drinks and people just love I don't know, partying. So it's a cool event. We got the Chiefs and 49ers. Those are the two teams that will be playing each other. Two red squads, which is weird, but
That is weird.
It's super odd. But before we get into that, gotta shine a little light on our boys, the Detroit Pistons out here, man. I gotta give them some love because we clowned them and talked about them so much when they was doing that streak of losing and a lot of losing, and they did a lot of losing. They have won more games in the last 3 weeks than they've won all season prior to that. So they won. As a matter of fact, the last 6 games they're 3-3, which is big, and they just won 2 games in a row. G.
They have won
The
2
Pistons
games in a
actually
row.
I know that's sad that I'm over here getting excited because they just won 2 games in a row, but it's the first time since the last time that the first 3 games of the season that they won 2 games in a row. So, so that's exciting. The really exciting thing though about that is, and also we just hit the NBA trade deadline a second ago. We'll get into it in just a second, but one thing that was really good I've been noticing about the Pistons is the maturation of Jaden Ivy. Okay,
Absolutely.
Jaden Ivy has been playing some unbelievable basketball. Specifically, the last 10 games, he has been shooting. I want to say somewhere around 50% or higher from 3, which is a knock that he had coming into his NBA career, where people were questioning how well he'd shoot from 3. I thought last year as a rookie he shot pretty decently, especially in the second half of the season. He was somewhere around 35% or something. But this year, and specifically the last few weeks or so, now that he's gotten a chance to really kind of spread his wings a bit, he's been shooting the ball incredible. The last 2 games, I want to say he's made somewhere around 12 threes in total. One game he was 7 for 7 from 3. That was the previous game. And they look like comfortable threes. Like they're open, comfortable shots. He's taking them in rhythm. He's getting to the rack when he wants to. He's looking like he's getting more comfortable. And something I noticed too, because people have had a lot of questions about this. Him and Cade have looked very comfortable playing next to each other. And I think that you kind of just have to continue to force them to play with each other more and more. I don't know why you're making that face, because they've looked comfortable playing well together. And obviously Cade was out for about 2 weeks recently, but even since he's come back, they don't look like they're still trying to figure it out. And I don't want to say it's this perfect comfort level or anything like that. They're still trying to figure that out, but I think it's definitely improved, and they've continued to work together. I think a lot of it does come from Jaden Ivy being able to shoot a little bit better as well. That's a big key, and both of them need to shoot better if they're going to be on the floor together.
Yeah, I mean, I like them both. Obviously, Jaden Ivey's been coming on. We've obviously already seen Cade have his spurts here and there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would say they look good together necessarily yet. I feel like they're both still very ball dominant. I think it's not like a good 1-2 punch yet. I feel like hopefully it can turn out to be that, because if it does
Hmm.
not, unfortunately, they will have to make a decision there,
Oh, for sure.
on which one that they want to build around. Because I also like Sasser a lot too. So, and Sasser is
He's been playing
becoming,
some good basketball. Woo.
yes, and I mean, if he gonna pick Jaden, Jaden can easily be a two and make Sasser the one. Man, I think that could work out too. I mean, I love Cade, so I hope that we can make this work between those
Hmm.
two. Yeah, no, I mean they've been playing. They've just, I don't want to be rude, but they've moved. They just keep moving them up the pedestal. I think they've gone from a national embarrassment to more of just a local embarrassment now. So, hopefully we can just keep trending in the right direction here. Um, I think I would say this to give them their props. I think they have grown a lot. Um, they are learning, but where I caution the tale is I feel like we go through this every season. I feel like we this is how every Piston season for the last 4 or 5 years have gone. They've started off
You're being
terribly.
generous. You're being generous with those
I
years. It's
have,
definitely been
I
about
am
6 or 7 or 8.
for sure. They they start off atrocious. I mean, nothing as bad as this year, but still the same. Real bad. Then towards the back half of the year, they start
Hmm.
picking it up. Guys start showing potential, give us
Hmm.
some kind of faith going into the off season, and then here we go back on this train again next year. So, it's cool. I appreciate the effort. I like Jaden's um, growth, but I need to
Hmm.
see this. I need to see them take the next step next year. Like, I can't. We can't stay here. Like, we have to
Hmm.
get better next year. So
And I can't even. I'm not even trying
Jalen
to
Duran as
wait.
well.
I'm not even trying to wait till next year, right? And what I mean by that is, obviously the season is a wash
Oh yeah,
in a wins loss perspective, but I need to see them with more of this average type of, hey, we can win three, we can lose three, we can win three, we can lose three, and that's, I think I'm kind of at this point where in the season where I'm like looking at them in spurts of games, right?
for sure.
Where I look at the last 6 games and they're 3-3. We'll see what the next 6 or the next 10 have in store, as opposed to after that dreadful 30 plus game losing streak. I don't think there's any way to look at them without looking at them in spurts at this point. Like, it's just, uh, I'm with you though. We need to see more consistency.
Absolutely.
Um, you just brought up Jalen Duran. He's been playing good basketball, but then he also still needs some things to work on. He still needs to work on that foot speed. He still needs to continue. And when I say foot speed, speaking more of anticipatory foot speed, right? He needs to learn how to anticipate where the defender is going a little bit better.
Hmm.
Nobody's asking him to guard a guard for extended periods of time, but on a switch in this NBA, you got to at least be able to maybe for get the ball out of his hand, maybe get a good contest, and not just get blown by. If he can do that, he'll be. That's those three can be really good together. And I'm hoping that they can stay together. I really
I
am.
think that was
I'm
the
hoping
plan.
that it works out. I'm
I
hoping
mean,
because
that
I
was the
mean,
plan. I mean, you see the potential there, but as we
yep,
talked about consistency, it has to be consistent. We're talking about Jalen Duran, who can on any night give you 28 and 20, and then on another night give you 5 and 10. So we have to find out. So he's obviously not the 28 and 20 guy, and he's not the 5 and 10 guy. So we have to find
yeah.
out where that number is, where he has to
More of
give
a
us that every night.
I need a if he can give me a solid
18 and 10.
give me 15 and 11 and
No,
I'm
I
I'm
think
good.
no, I'm not even gonna put him down that low. I think he's a Bam Adebayo type guy. I feel like he can. I feel like he can give you a good
I don't think
18 and
15 to 18
12,
is
18
is
and
a problem. I don't
yeah,
think 15 is crazy because the reason why is because I expect so much from Cade and Ivy when it comes to scoring. So
absolutely.
I'm okay if he gives me, and I'm not saying he can't give 18. I'm just keeping it at 15 just simply because I expect so much out of Caden and Jaden that, like,
For
I
sure.
feel like they should both be over 20 points per game next year. Like, that should be, I think I
Yeah.
think Cade should be at 25. Jaden should be a 20 point per game player.
I but hear me out. I think Jaden might be the more of the natural born scorer, though.
First, and
I think Jaden's the 25 plus guy, and I think
so
Cade is the 22, 23, but on any given night could give you 35 if he gets it going.
I don't
Um,
disagree with that. The only thing I see, the only reason, the only thing I'll say to that is I think Cade can score very easily when he's
I
really
agree.
like going. And not to say that Jaden can't score easily as well. It's just his because of I mean, I guess I think they can both get buckets when they want to, right?
Right, but I feel like if they was
Jaden can
going,
go get downhill really quickly, and Cade in the mid range is money, like
absolutely,
mid range sniper.
absolutely. Yeah, and I just think, but at the end of the day, if someone was going to take a backseat to the scoring, it's not going to be Jaden. It would
I
definitely
agree.
be Cade. I feel like
I agree.
I feel like Cade can do more without the ball in his hands, as far as defense, as far as pretty much anything. I think Cade is the better all around player than
Sure.
Jaden is.
Sure.
But at scoring the basketball, that's what Jaden does. So I think they need to use him at his strength and let Cade just kind of be that all around type of guy that he is, and just kind of
I
let
can respect that.
Jaden do his thing. But I think at the end of the day, yes, they could definitely work. Um, Cade got to get his ball handling a little bit better.
Got to be a little tighter for sure.
Yeah, just a little bit, a little bit. You know, still a little loose with it. But I feel like they can get it together. Um, so with that being said, you know that part of what Troy Weaver got going on, I agree with. I don't agree with much else. But with those three, yeah, I mean,
hmm
as long as they can stick it out, Monty
hmm
Williams, you know, hopefully he's you know here to coach, and we can get this thing turned around.
We shall see. I know one thing that something specific though. I just want to get out. All three of them need to work on attention to detail on defense.
Absolutely, absolutely.
That is the thing. They can all be good, very good defenders, and we've seen it in spurts. We've seen it in moments,
Cade
but they
should.
get lackadaisical. They can get very lackadaisical at times. I think a couple of things like Cade sometimes is trying to take rest, and he could be a little. He'll miss where he's supposed to be, or he'll let a guy slip. You know, a backdoor cut, like he has one of those types.
Right.
Jaden Ivy sometimes relies too much on his athleticism, so he thinks that he can make up some deficiencies. And like I already spoke about Jalen Durant, that he needs to uh, work on anticipation a little bit more. Maybe get a little quicker feet. And I don't know, you know, a trainer could be able to help with that. But work on having quicker feet, and I think that'll be
For
real
sure.
good because he can be a good rim protector if he can anticipate better. Um,
Absolutely. I just don't want him to turn into Andre Drummond. You know, so that's why I want him to develop those skills because if he just stays
mm-hmm,
as is, you know,
mm-hmm,
that's what that's going to be. So
mm-hmm.
you know, I want him. You know, I obviously, I mean, and he can make a little mid range jump shot. So if he can work
Yeah,
on that too,
he can bring the ball up sometimes. He does
right?
it frequently. He's
Yeah.
even
So if
gone to
he
the
can get,
rim without passing.
you're right. So um, I you know I don't mind seeing a little bit less of that though. But
Yeah, don't need it a
at the
ton,
same
but just a
time,
few times at games
right,
in the
just to
game.
keep the defense honest. But I think he does need
Mm-hmm,
to hit a jump shot here and there,
mm-hmm,
which we know he can do. I mean, we've seen him do it. So I know I need him
mm-hmm,
to get that developed. And
mm-hmm.
as you said on defense, yeah, I mean, he, for his size, but he's still very young. But for his size, he needs to be a
Absolutely.
he needs to be a plus defense player every
Mm-hmm,
night. Like he needs
mm-hmm,
to be somebody that they're game planning for. So
mm-hmm,
you have to get as you said, anticipation, but he can jump out the gym. Like
mm-hmm.
he needs to be swatting balls out of there, bro. So we'll see. We'll see.
We shall see how they go. The deadline was kind of dead. When it comes to
Yeah.
star,
What is
we
your?
thought we thought there was going to be. Well, go ahead. What were you going to ask?
I'm just asking. What is your feelings about the trade deadline? I mean, we were talking pre-show, and you had said that you felt like they had made some good deals. So the
I
Pistons
thought
we're talking about. So I want to hear your thoughts on that.
I thought the Pistons made, when I say good deals, they maneuvered some things that needed to be maneuvered, right? They got some more shooting. So that's one thing. The kid from Utah can shoot the basketball, and I think that's going to be, I think his name is Simone or Simon, maybe
Fontenecchio?
Simon. Yes, that uh, he can shoot the ball, and I didn't know much about him previously, but I got a chance to
Yeah.
look at some things and look more into him. And kid has he has some talent. I'll just say that he has a lot of talent, a lot of potential. If they can use him properly. The biggest thing to me though, with all these trades they've done, even before on the deadline on Thursday and even a couple weeks ago, was just all about getting guys that could shoot the basketball because we've been the worst shooting basketball team for years and it's been annoying. Okay, like so getting a few guys that could shoot the ball and getting up on they got off a couple of contracts too. So that was a couple of things that they wanted to do. I'm not a big you and I have a lot of these talks. I'm not overly critical when it comes to like contracts, but I know when there's a bad one and there isn't. And they got rid of a few of them and they needed to move
Yeah,
some
ones
things
that we
around.
made. Right.
Ones that, yeah, they
A
were
year ago.
mistakes. They were mistakes that were made in the offseason. These were things that should have been done in the offseason, actually. These
Mm.
trades that were made, these were moves that could have been done in the offseason that didn't have to be. It was almost like correcting mistakes, right? Like, and
Yeah.
so,
That's what this whole
so
trade deadline was.
exactly. And though that's why I say it was good trades in that regard. But then obviously you look back at it, like you just said, and these were mistakes. These were things that had to be corrected. And it kind of put us, it almost like we had to take a step back in order to take a step forward. And so I do think there were good moves in that regard, just looking from the short term, like, hey, were these good trades? Yes. Now, the reason for the trades and why these trades had to be made, that's a whole nother conversation. Coming back to the poor off season that or lack of
Off
uh,
seasons.
yes, the last couple of off seasons, and hey, I've said it, I've been frustrated with Weaver. Okay, there were three years ago, I was confident. I was like, oh man,
Yeah,
he's
we all
and
were.
and I still like a couple of players that he's gotten, but they just don't fit together. That's the problem. Like it's been a lot of struggle and fit. Like like you got a lot of guys that didn't, and there were certain guys that you didn't. I've been very candid about. I was a person that was rooting for Killian Hayes, but the problem is he didn't fit anything of what they had. He didn't. He's also a player to me that needs to be in the very like perfect system for him to be a NBA player. Like, which is a whole nother conversation. Whatever. Hope things go well for him. Whatever. But like, he has to be in the right spot. He was never in the right never in a good position to be anything. And so you picked him at 7, where we were in this position where we needed more of a sure thing, right? We needed more of we're not sure, but we need to like know that this player is at least going to do this really well for us, and we need this. We needed shooting. We've needed shooting for years, okay? And that's one thing that's been
Mm-hmm.
frustrating for me because I poor shooters like I struggle with. Okay, so even though like I said, I was hoping for it and I was looking for it, and I think that was just somebody I just was like hoping that his game would click, but like poor shooting, you got to go. You can't shoot, you got to go. Right? I mean, it's just how it is. It's the NBA.
Okay. So let's talk about this. This trade deadline, it was confusing. I will say that. I don't believe I do like Fontenecchio. He can shoot. But where your
Fontenecchio, what a name.
yeah, but where your analysis falls short for me is that that's the only shooter that they got. So they didn't get anybody else. So they got two
Well,
players out of this whole trade deadline.
you're talking about the trade deadline. I said even the weeks leading up, they did get Muscala, who's been actually played decently for them. He can shoot, and they got him as
Cool.
well. Yeah, sure.
Cool. Okay. All right. So we got those two guys. So my thing is, here's the issue that I'm having is that we traded Alec Burke
Hmm.
and Bogdanovich.
Hmm.
And what we got back in return was 2 second-round picks and a bench player. When we've been holding on to Bogdanovich
Hmm.
for years now,
Hmm.
telling everyone that we need this high return for him, passed up 2 first-round picks for him.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we got 2 second-round picks and a bench player for him and another guy. Him and Alex
Me,
Burke.
me personally, I don't need no more high picks. I'm sick of them. Okay, so I don't want to hear nothing about high picks. If that's your game, go for it. You can have it. I don't need to hear nothing about no
So
high
we just
picks no
giving
more.
dudes away.
Don't
Okay,
care.
cool. So we just so we
Look,
just so we just
look.
giving we just say, hey, here you go.
There,
All right, I
there
mean that's
had to
fine.
be. It's
Best
not
player on our
that.
team.
It's not that he's been terrible on defense for like 2 years. But that's
I
I don't
understand, but
even. I don't
he
want to
was
hear that.
our best
And
offensive weapon.
actually, he was not that good on offense this most of the season. The time that he's been in, he's had moments. He started off well. Um, the
Dude
past
had
few
value.
weeks,
Everybody
the
wanted
past
this
few
man.
weeks, not the past few weeks. They tried. They. This is. I
And
read a
whose fault is
report.
that?
And wait. And I read a report. I'll just say this. I told you I have issues with Troy Weaver. If you're going to go into that conversation, that's a different conversation. But if we're talking about just this specific trade deadline, in this specific trade deadline, they had an offer, or they had value, or what they wanted from him, and the reports are is that teams weren't paying that. So there's that. If you want to go back into it, they should have traded him last year. Cool. I can't go back in time for you, so we can. I don't disagree. I won't disagree with you. I have nothing to
Or the year
2020
before that.
vision. We didn't. We've only had him for
We got him.
uh
We
two and
got
a
him
half
at the
years.
trade deadline
Yeah.
2 years ago. And we should have traded
Yes.
him that offseason or last offseason. I mean, we
Trading
had a couple
trading
of trying to
him
trade him.
trading him the offseason that they got him didn't really make sense because they thought he was going to. They planned on being better, obviously, in that season, and so quote unquote. So
I
they
guess they're the
say.
only ones that thought that. But
So they say.
yeah, I think that's the problem.
Well, you got
I
to
think
remember
my
they've been feeding us for 4 years straight that we're going to be this play-in team for the last
absolutely.
like 2 years, three
Absolutely.
years. So
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, ultimately, cool the trades. They got rid of the guys that they never should have got in the first place. Okay, we released Joe Harris. Why did we get Joe Harris?
it was a
We
waste.
so we signed Joe Harris to
Well,
release
they
Joe
got
Harris.
him.
So
Well, they got him
to
because
help,
they thought that no, they thought he would shoot, and he
no,
couldn't
we got
shoot. He
him to
hasn't been able to
help
shoot this
out the
year.
Nets. The Nets needed to
They
shave some salary, and
but they
they was
thought he could shoot.
overpaying Joe Harris. That's
They thought he
cool.
could shoot,
That's
and he couldn't shoot.
well, they keep thinking that people can shoot. I think that's the other
Sure.
issue. But anywho, they got him because the Nets needed to shave some salary so they can sign Cam Johnson, who we should have gotten. Instead of us going out and making a big move and getting him, we decided to go take a salary dump and go
I
take
definitely wanted Cam Johnson. I definitely wanted Cam Johnson.
everyone wanted Cam Johnson, but we
Hmm.
go take a salary dump and go pick up old Joe Harris, who don't play, and then for $20 million, and then can't even do nothing with the contract and have to release him. So, draft a 7th round pick, have to release him. Look. I get it that we can talk about these things, but the problem is we got a GM that's playing 2K, and so that
And
buddy
not
just out
well.
here, dude, dude out here just here. I'm throwing everything against the wall. If it don't stick, cool, we'll get rid of it. Pay Marvin Bagley. I mean, come on,
That
like
was
it's
now
insane. It
that
doesn't make any
was
sense.
the really
You
and the
signed
biggest problem
9
with
big
that
men.
the biggest
Now you
problem
got
with
20
that was
guards. I don't I don't understand.
the biggest problem with the Bagley signing was, for one, it was Marvin Bagley, and I'm not a fan of Marvin Bagley. But even if you're going to sign him, right? Why did you trade for Wiseman then? Why?
This is what I'm trying to
And then
understand.
wait. And I understood the trade for Wiseman if you don't sign Bagley. So it's like you got to pick.
And
Like
then
it
we had
didn't
to
make
give up
sense
picks
to.
to get rid of them.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense to. You could have just traded for Wiseman and not signed Bagley, and that would have been perfectly fine. Wiseman's still on the team. he's actually turned into at least a serviceable backup, I guess, whatever. But the point is that it didn't make sense to get both at the same time.
Yeah,
That part just didn't make any sense. And they had. It's not like they didn't have Jalen Duren at the point. This was
they
last
had
season.
Jalen Duren,
This
James
was last season.
Wiseman, Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Stewart. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is look, man. Like this is, and then we just
Speak.
signed Isaiah Stewart, and they talking about trading him too. Like this,
I was
what
I
is
was about
going
to say.
on?
I was about to say.
What's going
Just
on?
speaking of Stewart, I'm like they just signed him. And for one, side note, he's the one who actually has the most value, like when it comes to trading.
Why
And
wasn't he traded? Like this doesn't one, why wasn't he traded? Two, why did we sign him? I mean, this is
maybe
like why
people
are we
didn't.
signing guys and then 1 year later we have buyer's remorse? Like
Yeah,
if
it's too much buyer's remorse going on.
yeah, like if it's that quick, dog,
Mm-hmm.
then why do we even sign the dude? Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't even stick it out a year. Like it's like because
Yeah,
he knows what we all know. You shouldn't have signed him in the first place. It never fit. Buddy just got pieces on the team. He just got guys. And so I think it's hard for me to take the trade deadline as, oh, well, maybe they're moving in the right direction. They don't have a direction.
they
They
don't.
haven't done anything to show that they have any sort of idea of what they're doing.
I will
Like
agree
they
with
have
that.
done the most random stuff
Mm-hmm.
for the last since he's been here. Like it's just been
Mm-hmm.
random. It's like, hey, we'll take this guy. We'll do this. We'll grab this up. Now we got a whole team. Like the
He's had
dude,
a
I
lot of
don't think he
lottery.
knew.
He's had a lot of lottery projects too.
Yeah, bro.
Like
I don't think he knew that he had 5 big men on the team. Like I don't think he really knew that. I think it. I think he was, and then he gonna get up in that press conference like, well, we need to rebound the ball. Okay, well, we got to score it too. So,
and everybody who rebounds doesn't have to be a big man, by the way. I
it,
mean that's not
like we don't
like
even we have. He hasn't done nothing. Like he hasn't. We don't. I don't see where we're going. I don't see what the big picture is. Cool.
I
Now we
don't
got a
either.
bunch of cap space. Mark, who is
Nobody's going
coming
to
here?
sign here. Nobody.
Who's coming? No one's coming.
Nobody.
We don't
Nobody.
got no draft capital to trade for nobody because we got
Mm-hmm.
rid of all that. We owed
Mm-hmm.
the Knicks a first round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is and we suck. So they making out like fat cats over there. They're making out like fat cats. We gave them Bogdanovich. We gave them Alex Burke. They're gonna get a first round pick from us within the next couple of years.
He
Come
said
on, man.
we suck.
Like this is bad.
There is no
This is
direction, like you
bad.
said. I will, and that's why I said I was only looking at it in a vacuum when it comes to the deadline, in the sense of now when you factor in the rest of it. Yes, I agree with you. I cannot take that. I have no clue what Troy Weaver's doing. I don't know. I've been asking these questions for a couple of years now. Like I don't know what he's doing, and it's crazy too because you look at it from the other perspective as a Detroit fan, right? We look at it from the Lions GM's doing fantastic, and then we see, and they came in at the same time. I mean, they both came in at the same time, so it's like you see one killing it, and then you see the other one, and you're like, what are you doing? Even I mean, Red Wings. They new GM at the same, around the same time. Like the city is
Everybody
looking.
else
So we
coming
have
up. The Tigers, the Pistons,
the
the Tigers,
Tigers have
the
had
Lions, the Red Wings.
better work.
They all pulling themselves out of
At least
purgatory.
they have direction too.
And
Like
yeah,
you said,
the
that's a big
Pistons,
one.
we
You
don't
said
know.
direction. We
Yeah,
don't know
we don't
what
know.
Troy Weaver's trying to build. The
Yeah,
only
like we
thing
can
is
see everybody else growing
we can only just
every year to
hope.
year.
We can just hope that the three core young guys can work together and work out well. And maybe they do just because they're talented. They're very talented, but we don't know what the direction of the whole entire team is. Like I
Yeah,
don't
like
know what they're
I don't know
trying
if
to
the coach
build.
want to be there. Like it's just like I don't know. Like
That's
it's
been a big speculation for like
yeah.
pretty much all season. A lot of
Like I
people
don't
have
know
been
what he
questioning if
doing.
Monty wants to be there.
Like I don't
Yeah,
know what he doing. His lineup's been crazy. Don't come out and say, yeah, they told me that I had to play Jaden Ivy or something. Like I should put
yeah.
him as point. Why is the owner telling you this? Like this is wild. Like
And it's
you didn't
interesting
see
coming
it?
from. I will say it's funny. It's funny watching you in real time go through this because when we first got Monty, I know you were somebody who advocated for it. You wanted Monty.
Who wouldn't?
Uh,
Like
you wanted him here. I didn't. I was fine with it. I thought it was a decent signing. He wasn't like my I can't say number one pick because I didn't have like a lineup of like who I wanted to be the coach, but
I feel like it could have been better
I
than
thought he was fine.
anything was better than Dwayne Casey. I mean, I
That's
thought.
a story for another
Now
day.
now I'm hoping we can go back to the 30 seasons, 28 seasons. Like at least they play hard for him. Like I look, bro. Like I don't know. It's hard for me to look at anything that they got going on and be happy about it because I would be all on board with these trades if I felt like there was some kind of method to the madness behind it. I don't
That's
know.
fair. That's fair.
I don't know what's going on. We
That's
can
fair.
because at one point we were talking about trading for Zach LaVine. We were the front runners for trading for Zach LaVine until Zach
Speaking
LaVine said,
speaking that is hilarious.
"I'm going to get season-ending
He
knee
said no.
surgery." Thank you.
He said no. I'm straight.
So it doesn't make sense. We go from
He
this
said
to
no.
trading.
No,
We
I'm
go
good.
trading from Zach LaVine to this.
Now, in
Then they say
all,
they're going to try to snatch Miles Bridges. We got 6 wins, and we are trying to go grab a. Okay, come on, like
I will
what is
say this.
happening?
I will say this. In all fairness to the just in general, nobody really made any big trades. So I like
I
no
get it.
big player got traded. So that's not just
They
a
was
Troy
going to.
Reefer issue, but yeah. But I mean,
Zach
yeah.
LaVine was
But
coming to Detroit.
he definitely was. He was. They
Yeah,
would
it
that
was way too much smoke
the
around that one. He
it
was
was.
coming to Detroit.
And when there's smoke, there's fire. It was
We was about to
happening.
pull
And he
another
said
Blake Griffin.
he was like, no, I'm good. And I
Yeah,
mean,
we was about to pull another Blake Griffin for sure.
I don't even know if it was that though because I don't think he's as hurt as. But whatever. I mean, whatever.
No, he ain't
It was
coming here though.
yeah. I was gonna say it was just funny. Like he
Yeah,
was like, no, but you know what? And I'm okay with it because hey, Jaden Ivy has stepped up, so you didn't need to do that or whatever. He's taking that role on real good. Whatever.
that's a desperate move if we did
I'll
that.
just say to finish this part off, I have we have no clue what Weaver's doing, but we hope that this young crew continues to improve, and we'll see what the 3 core guys do, and almost 4 if you still want to keep Thompson in the mix because he still is a rookie. I don't want to. I think he still has potential. I just think he needs a lot of. He's still very raw, right? Like
Very.
it's still a lot
Yeah.
of work, and he needs some coaching. I mean, if the coach wants to coach, then coach him.
That's a
He
great
needs
person to coach right there.
he needs some coaching. Like that's all he has. He has a lot of raw abilities that you can really utilize.
Rebounds well, defense,
If
offense
he's the
game weak.
if he's your 4th best player,
That's a
if
problem. We're
no,
gonna win
but
6 games.
right now, yes. I'm saying in the future, like I'm thinking of his potential.
Oh, you talking about
Potential wise,
in the future?
yeah. He has
Yeah, he could be like a
potential to be a really
Draymond
good.
Green type of guy
I was thinking more
for
of
sure.
Andre Iguodala, but yeah,
That's cool. That's cool. But
yeah,
I'm talking about like a core piece, like a guy
yes,
who's gonna be a part of the core,
yeah, for
like a
sure,
young guy. If you want to
for
add him to
sure.
the mix, like
That kind of glue guy that you need.
if Stephen Clay is Caden, then you have a you know a Draymond as
Sure.
a Sir Thompson.
This conversation got weird because it doesn't make any. I get what you're trying to get at, but
No,
it
I'm
just
saying if you have your
like
core guys, like the guys who are gonna be the guys leading you to the championships, those 3, and obviously Jalen Duren down low, that can be
yes.
okay. I'll make it
That's
easier
what I'm
for
thinking
you.
of actually.
More like
That's
the
what I'm thinking
Pistons
of.
back in the day. It's the solid 5
Yes,
starters. We need
yes,
one more. We need a wing.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
or power forward. Power forward, really.
Which a power forward pretty much is a wing these days anyway. So
Yeah.
you kind of
So that's what
a
I'm saying.
mixture.
So we needed more of a wing, which I guess why they're trying to get Miles Bridges, but he ain't coming here either. So, at the end of the day, we gonna see.
We gonna see. Now let's get into the topic of the weekend. Though we spent a lot of time on the Pistons unnecessarily. No, I'm just joking. But no, they didn't deserve all that
Well,
press
they
because
about to get a lot of Pistons coming up after this.
they are.
After this week, so
They are.
they
They
better
are.
they
They
better
are.
get used to them Piston talks.
It's gonna be a lot of interesting NBA. I got to catch up on my NBA. No,
Yeah, bro. Same.
I've
Bro.
been
I've been
dabbling a little bit
ignoring
here
it.
and there, but yeah, it definitely has not been. I've been so into so focused on football, man. It's here we are, the last game of the season, the
Nice
biggest game
game.
of the season for the entire league. We got the Chiefs and we got the Niners. This was not the Super Bowl that people thought we were going to get. I don't think anybody thought this was going to be the matchup. Um, like I don't think there's not. I don't know how many people even last week thought this was going to be the matchup, or 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry, they played 2 weeks ago. I don't know who thought this was going to be the matchup 2 weeks ago.
Mm-mm. Absolutely not.
Nevertheless, a couple months ago, right? Nobody thought this would be the matchup, but here we
I don't
are.
think no one thought about this since the beginning of the season. I think beginning of the season, this was probably a floated idea, obviously because the last
Yeah,
couple of years, no
yeah.
one thought the Chiefs had a
The
season that they
Niners
had.
have been
But
flirting,
right, right, right.
with getting back into
Yeah,
the Super Bowl,
everyone
and
assumed the Niners
obviously,
going to be there.
yeah, and obviously the Chiefs have been the you mean the Chiefs, but um,
No, we all assumed the Niners was going to get there.
at the very
Niners is the
beginning of the
best team in the
season,
NFC. Yeah, the Niners the best team in the NFC.
I think a lot of people would have said the Eagles if you're talking the start of the season. Start of the season, a lot of people thought it was
I
going to be
guess, but people
Chiefs
just
Eagles back
look.
in there,
Yeah,
or
yeah, sure.
Chiefs, yeah, Chiefs Eagles. A lot of people thought Chiefs
Sure,
Eagles would,
but I think people think the Niners got cheated just because of Purdy's elbow situation. No,
which is, I mean,
they still
and
thought the Niners were the better team.
that's a conversation to be had, right? A lot of people thought that they would be better this year, and credit to them, they have been better. In a general sense, um,
For sure.
this game is going to be very interesting, right? Because the Niners want to play very. They want to play. They want to run the ball a lot, but then they also want to disguise a lot of different things in their offense, and um, they want to run some misdirection plays a lot, whether it's to Debo, whether it's to Christian McCaffrey. Every now and again, they throw it to their fullback. They try to get a few different things going on here. But the thing about the Chiefs is, I've been saying it for weeks, and I shouldn't have come off of it the last game. But the Chiefs' defense has been very good. It's been very good. Actually, it's been great. Like it's just called like they're not. It hasn't been all time or anything like that, but they've been a great, solid defense all year. Spagnoli he's been Spags has been he's been doing his thing.
Absolutely.
He's been calling great games. He has defense ready all the time to make plays, and they've controlled games more than not. They've been doing it a different way than they've done in the past years, right? Everything was so dependent on their offense. The other two Super Bowls that they had, or
Yep.
the other three Super Bowls they've been to, that everything's been dependent on that. A lot of it now is about their defense playing well, controlling the game, and their offense running the ball a little bit more. Pacheco runs like he running away from the cops or something. Like I don't know what's going on. The way that man, them
He
knees
do.
be
He
getting up,
do.
he be
He do.
stomping on the ground like he hate it. Okay,
Man, ain't nobody gonna pull him down, bro. Dude, I mean, dude be going crazy, bro.
it,
Dude
it
be going
reminds me of them
nuts.
high knee drills when I used to do it when I was
Yeah,
a
bro.
kid.
High knees, high knees.
Get them up, like, and so that's all you can see is him. He run angry every
Absolutely.
single carry. Um, it's gonna be it, so taking my obvious bias fandom out of the way. It has the potential to be an interesting game, um, because number 15 still played for the Chiefs last time I checked, and that guy's he in a class all
I'm
by
happy that you
himself.
remember that this week.
I got sometimes sometimes you gotta be knocked off your square a little bit, and then you start to understand like what was I thinking? What was I thinking? Let me get
Mm.
back to this. I've been saying it all playoffs. I don't even know why. I really thought Baltimore would. I thought they would. I thought they would play better.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the truth. I
Mm-hmm.
thought they would play better. I gave them the benefit of the doubt. Lamar
Yep.
Jackson just won the MVP as we thought. Nobody's going to care, if we're being honest. It's still a great accolade. I don't want to give. It's a regular season award, so I don't want to take anything away. In the regular season, he was the MVP. He led his team to greatness. They just fell short, and they fell short because it's something about the Chiefs, man. I, it's something about 15. Patrick Mahomes. It's something about dude that he inspires his team to just play better. I can't even I don't even have full football reasons. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if they just the confidence is irrational. They just believe in Patrick Mahomes, and he has made it to where it makes sense. Like it's hard to bet against him, right? He's
It
coming to
is.
that, and I mentioned this before we started the show. He's coming to that kind of stage where it's like, obviously he's not in the same space. They haven't. It's not a fair comparison for the years and longevity, but just in the short term, he's in that space of like a Brady where it's he pulls people with him, right? Like no matter
Yeah.
how good the whole team is or how good everybody is, he kind of brings them forward. And I know, look, you said it last week. You said you couldn't bet against them. You finally took my advice, and I took away. I didn't take my own. But Patrick Mahomes is the guy, man. He's the guy. Like I don't know.
Is that? I mean, is that what I'm feeling? I'm feeling you leaning? You
I'm not
leaning Pat
leaning.
Mahomes in this game?
I'm not leaning.
Oh,
I'm
you
all the way on
fool!
that side. I'm all
You
the way
full
on that
go.
side.
You full go.
I'm all
Okay.
the way over there. I believe the
Okay.
Chiefs are going to win this football game. I
Fair
believe
enough.
Patrick Mahomes is going to show up like he does in every time he's been in the Super Bowl, and he's going to ball out like he does. And he's had one Super Bowl where he's somewhat, and that's the one they lost. Uh, he's somewhat, and he wasn't really struggling, right? Like he struggled in the sense of his offensive line wasn't very good. So I
Right.
mean, that was the famous year a couple of years ago where he was throwing from the side, like falling down or whatever. And it look, I, he's kind of hitting that I guess for football terms, or in the football version, he's hitting that kind of Michael Jordan, LeBron James, where like you just expect him to be great every single time. Like you expect him to get there. You expect him to like I don't know. How do you bet against that guy? Like this is the team that this is the Chiefs team that you expected not to get there, right? Like, but here he is.
Look, this one is how can I start this? I feel like my analysis is going to sound pretty similar to last week, um,
Mm,
with the Baltimore game. I feel like you're in a situation where
mm-hmm,
you're playing against Pat Mahomes and the
mm-hmm,
Chiefs,
mm-hmm,
a team who's been here so many times,
mm-hmm.
and they're the underdog. And
The,
you, who has never been here,
mm-hmm,
is the favorite.
mm-hmm,
Now, we saw how that worked out last week. That's a lot of pressure on the
mm-hmm,
49ers to win this football game.
mm-hmm,
A lot of pressure on Brock Purdy,
mm-hmm,
who we saw up close and personal last week, or a couple weeks
mm-hmm.
ago. Um, Here's the thing. The 49ers defense, I feel like, will be better than they were against Detroit in the first half. But as I said before, I feel like them guys against the outside run just ain't that great. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like they know that. And
Mm-hmm.
they're going to do the exact same thing. So I would love
Mm.
to see, and I think it's going to really hurt, and just to make a little slight pivot, it's going to hurt me again if they do it to the 49ers, and the 49ers still can't stop that little crack run to the outside, because it's going to bother my soul that the fact that the Lions just stopped running the ball altogether in the second half. But anywho, if they continue that up, if they can't stop the run again and they get Isaiah Pacheco loose in this game, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
He's the definition of a workhorse. He gets better as the
Absolutely.
more he keeps running.
Yeah, and they're not gonna stop running. They gonna keep it up. They don't. Here's the thing: they just want to win. Pat
Yeah.
Mahomes don't have to put up 400 yards for them to win the game.
No.
Um, and I say this: they corners ain't as good as Baltimore corners. They actually got one corner out there. I can't think of his name. He ain't that great. So
The other
that's
corner
gonna be a
is, but yeah.
stretch.
But yeah, one
Yeah,
of
the other
them is.
corner is, but that is gonna be a little bit of a stretch for
Mm-hmm.
them. So I think at the end of the day, I'll say this. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Uh, I got Chiefs in this game. Experience over talent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like they have enough of it, and they got the talent. They may not be as talented as
Hmm.
the 49ers.
But
But
they
they
still
have
got some
enough
guys.
talent, and
Hmm.
they trump them in experience. You got
Hmm.
Andy Reid.
Hmm.
Um, Look, I think it is going to be a very good game, but I think it's going to be very Baltimore-esque kind of game.
Mm.
I I'm feeling like 20-13 ish kind of game, like somewhere in there.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think it's
2013.
going to be one of them. I think 2013, maybe 22 to 24-16 type game. That's why I'm kind of leaning in this one.
I think it's
So
gonna be
we'll see.
24-20.
24-20. That's yeah, sure.
I feel like I've said that a few times in some of my
Yeah,
predictions,
sure.
but
I don't think no
I,
one's getting into the 30s this game though.
I don't think so either because I think both teams are going to want to play a little more methodical.
Absolutely.
They're not going to try to force explosive plays. Doesn't mean
Yeah,
there
I don't
won't
see
be
too many of
any.
those this game.
Yeah, yeah. It might be a couple, but it won't be. They're not going to
Yeah,
force anything. Both
right.
defenses are very good with containing explosive plays for the most part.
Yeah,
Um, and neither the Chiefs don't really have explosive
no,
players outside of their
they
quarterback.
don't.
Obviously,
They don't.
Travis Kelsey doesn't really make a lot of explosive plays. He makes a lot of really good plays these
Big,
days.
he makes big plays.
Yes,
Explosive plays. He makes
yeah,
big catches and stuff.
a
But
big third down. It's third
right,
and
right, right.
11. Things like that.
Not
Um,
too many 40, 50 yard bombs. No.
the Niners, they have explosive plays from time to time, but they're not like that. Now, you could have a Christian McCaffrey explosive play. That could happen. Every
For
now and
sure.
again, you'll get a Debo. Obviously, Ayuk has moments, but the Chiefs have some good corners too. Like Snead is
They
going to
do.
be out there and he ready. Like Snead looks ready every single game, and he's trying between him trying to win a Super Bowl. He's also about to be a free agent, so he's trying to make some money. So like, I'm just saying there are some things there that they're going to be. The Chiefs' defense is very good with attention to detail. That's going to
Absolutely.
be an interesting kind of chess game. I think it'll be between them. Win the blitz. Does Chris Jones show up early, or
He needs to.
or is he only play late? Like he's had a habit. All I've said this in I think the last 2 weeks ago. He's had a habit throughout this season where he hasn't been great until the fourth quarter. They're going to need him all game, I think. They're going to have to get Brock
Uh,
Purdy off his spot. And Brock Purdy also, if we know, he doesn't have a problem running. We've seen it the last game. He has no problem
Clearly.
he has no problem with running out of the pocket and getting the first down, which is very key for them. So it's going to be interesting to
I
see
think Brock has a tough
how
game
they
though.
do that. You know what matchup I'm actually really excited to see though is two of them really. It's the 49ers linebackers against Kelsey, yeah, against Travis Kelsey.
Them boys brutal though.
I'm really excited to see how that like both like they have two really good linebackers that I think are going to be between Greenlaw and Warner. Like it's going to be interesting to see what they do against Kelsey. Kelsey obviously likes to. He gets a lot of passes in the middle of the field. He can play outside as well, but he gets a lot of inside. He does a lot of inside routes, a lot of in the seams, and they like to play the seams. Obviously, it's going to be an
All
interesting
I'm gonna
matchup.
say is Taylor Swift better close her eyes because I'm gonna tell you this. Fred Warner gave Sam Laporta a welcome to the NFL hit a couple times.
He did. He
But
did.
I mean that one over the middle. I mean, I don't know how Sam just popped up from that one. Dude,
And he
dude
was
laid.
and he was hurt from his own hit more.
Yeah,
Laporta,
bro.
he was hurt more than Laporta was.
Yeah, buddy went. I'm like, oh, was that Greenlaw? I think actually now I'm
It
thinking
was
about it.
Greenlaw. It was
Yeah,
Greenlaw.
ah
He threw his
man.
body into him. He took a
I
hit.
mean,
I was like, oh my
I'm like,
goodness.
so
He had a
I
stinger
mean,
too.
Kelsey,
That's how hard he
yeah,
threw his
he
body
did.
into him.
Now
Right.
Kelsey is a little bigger than
But he's a little
Laporta,
more finesse. But
but at the same time, though, I think they're gonna be looking to tag Kelsey a couple times in
and
this game. So
Kelsey's a lot older too, so he may not want to take those same hits. Now,
absolutely. So we'll
that's
see.
the thing. Yeah.
That's gonna be something to see. So we'll see. But at the end of the day, Chiefs gonna win. So that's what that is. This is how the NFL works. Chiefs gonna win this game. And then we gonna go forward from there. Pat Mahomes gets himself another one. Good for them. Um, you know, Usher halftime. Excited to see it. That's all I got.
That should be fun. That should be fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely, absolutely.
um,
Usher halftime. Hey, I want to get your before we get out of here. I do want to get your thoughts on the NFL honors coach of the year, uh, Kevin Stefanski. Didn't see that one coming. We got Lions Dan Campbell and third for coach of the year. Third, three.
do you really want to know my opinion?
Hey, I'm just trying to understand.
I
I'm
mean,
trying to. If we're
George,
talking about the
George.
regular season, I'm trying to understand how the Browns coach wins play with coach of the year. I mean,
I
they
don't
had a
care.
good season.
Regular season,
Um,
playoffs,
yeah,
preseason,
I'm trying to
like
understand.
like.
And it's the second one too. Like I think I'm just trying to get some clarification as to how he got that.
Let
Um,
me tell you
I
this.
was I was okay losing to. I was okay with Dan Campbell losing to DeMarco or DeMeco, whatever his name is. Um, Ryan's from
Coach Ryan.
Houston,
Hmm.
but Stefanski, number one. Come on, bro. Like that's just insane. I mean,
Let me
that's
say
insane.
this. Okay. Let me just.
Who was it?
Cue. Where's the rant button? Let me cue it real quick. All right, cool. Absolute travesty. Okay,
Yeah,
this
I
is
mean, this is
complete robbery.
highway robbery, bro.
Like there is no reason Stefanski should have gotten that coach of the year. And that's not to say
This
he
is
didn't do a
crazy.
good job coaching, right? Yes, his quarterback
Yeah,
went down. Even his starting quarterback wasn't that good before he went down. Great, good for him. Cute. He won it 2 years ago. What he did 2 years ago was more important than what he did. Was it 2 or 3 years ago? Whatever. A couple of years ago. It was more important when he won it then than anything he did this season. They were a losing franchise. Why didn't Dan Campbell get it for the same reason that he got it this year? And we had an even better season this year than he had when he got it a couple of years ago. The Lions had a better season. I'm in
the
full.
Lions. Dan Campbell almost at this point has no chance. Like I don't know what else he
It,
could do. I mean,
he can't have a
what
better
they got to go
season.
15-1, 6. I mean,
He
I
can't
don't know what
like
they. I don't know what they would. What we supposed to do at this point. I mean, I don't. I
they
think
won the
that's just is
most
what it is.
won the most games that they've won
One
ever.
division.
Won a division. The first time they've ever won this division. This is the first
It's
time
the
they've ever
Lions.
won this division, bro. They've never won the North. Never. This was the first time ever. The last time they won a division was 30 years ago, and they were in the Central. It's a whole different division, and it was 30 years ago. Okay, they
How
just
do you
won the
not give him
first
coach of the
time.
year? How
They
is he third? I'm
like
trying to understand third. Like it was like he was like a throw in. Like I thought he was a shoe in for the first spot. Like how and barely got any first place votes. Like I'm trying to
in,
understand like
and
how
I'll
did this
say
happen?
this. I'll say this about Ryan's, right? This is why I think he did a great job and he was deserving as well. But then here's the thing. Here's where the one up part goes for me with Dan Campbell. The Texans haven't been like this traditionally bad team, okay? Like I know that
No,
they weren't supposed to win the division this year. Cool. That's nice. They're always in the running though. They're always at least in some kind of conversation over the last so many years. Like it's not like I'm
they were
just
horrible
saying that
last year though. Like
last
that's
year,
why
yes.
I would give them. That's why I would give them. I mean
And that's
they
why
went from
okay,
picking at the top of the draft to in the playoffs the very
that's
next year.
fine. That's
So I
fine.
would give them. I would give them. I would
I'll
don't
live
mind
with
losing
that.
if we have to
I'll
lose
live
to
with that.
him.
That's
Cool.
fine.
I feel like that
Stefanski,
was a flip of a coin, but Stefanski to win it all.
but
Come on, bro.
here's another
Stefanski
thing too.
must got something on somebody, bro. 'Cause
Well, here's another
that don't
thing
make
too.
sense.
Here's another thing. This is another reason why I think I would have went with Dam over Ryan's too. By the way, is because um, Ryan's they won their division, but it was like last game. They Lions won their division like weeks ago, right? You know what I'm saying? Like
That's
it was
true. So
like
you tell me if the
there
Lions
was
made the playoffs last year, we would got coach of the year. If
it.
if the refs didn't cheat in that Seahawks game and the Lions would have made the playoffs, then Dan would have won. Dan would have won coach of the year last year.
So if the refs didn't cheat in the Cowboys game, would that extra game have it would have gave us a boot? Like what
Possibly.
does he have to do? What does he have to do?
Yeah, possibly if we would have got the number 1 seed instead.
What
Possibly.
does he have to do?
Right.
And but that was his fault, right? That the refs don't know
Right.
what they're doing. Got
Because
it.
essentially we had the same kind of season that they had last year. I'm just trying to call spade a spade. We had the same season as they had last year that Houston had. We just didn't get lucky enough to make the playoffs. We had the same record. We won. We hauled off like 6, 7 wins in a row. We was 3-13-1 the year before that, and then all of a sudden we 9-8 and one of the hottest teams at the end of the season. Why didn't he win Coach of the Year last year? What? Because they didn't make the playoffs. So it's a semantics thing.
They didn't win the division. So because their division wasn't worse, that's what it really was. The Texans only won the
They
division.
didn't win the division either.
Yeah, the Texans won the division.
Did they?
Yeah, that's how they had the home game, the first game.
Bro, 9-8 won the division. See, that's what I'm saying. So since they the trash division, that's what I'm saying. Like that, come on, bro. Dan, bro. That's
Yeah.
hey,
That's the only way they got in the playoffs
it's all
by
good.
the division. Because
It's all good.
they're in the division with the Titans and the Colts and what's the other team?
Just keep on adding chips to the shoulder. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. So we can win 12 games and win the division for the first time in 30 years and ever, and all that good stuff. And be in the running for a number 1 seed. Not questioning whether we'll be in the playoffs the last like 4 weeks of the season. But that wasn't enough. That wasn't.
No, it's never enough. It is what it is.
First time in the playoffs in like 5 years. But that's not enough. That doesn't matter.
It doesn't. It just doesn't matter. That's just where I'm at on it. I just want to get your take on that.
Let me hit the rant button again so I can cut it off. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Because I figured. I mean, everything else went pretty much as anticipated. CJ Stroud winning Rookie of the Year.
Not mad at
everything
that.
else
I don't care about that.
Right. And I mean, our guys were our finalists.
Yeah, they were.
Porter was 3, and I think Gibbs was 4.
Yeah.
So hey, I'll take it. And plus, Stroud's a quarterback, so
yeah, we know how that goes. But Stroud also every game he stepped up every game.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean,
even if he wasn't,
Gibbs didn't come on until like week 4,
second half of the season.
And really get going. Yeah, it was a little earlier because remember when
it was when Montgomery
got hurt. That was like week 5, 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty early. But yeah, like either way, the point is yes, he took off more as the season progressed. Whereas CJ, I don't care about that. Like I'm not mad about that. Coach Stefanski winning it, like you said, I would have lived with Ryan's winning it. Okay, even though I disagree, I would have lived with that one. Right?
Yeah.
Stefanski winning it is crazy to me. Okay, they were expected. Were they not expected to make the playoffs? Am I tripping about that? Or at least they were in contention for the playoffs. Nobody thought they weren't going to be in contention for the playoffs. Like,
what I think the NFL had a different storylines than we had all year because the Browns seems to be the surprise team this year.
Surprise!
Because you got the comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco, the assistant coach of the year.
Comeback player of the year, by the way, is crazy for somebody who didn't play even like half the season.
Absolutely. This is what I'm trying to explain. So you got Stefanski winning coach of the year, come back in the play year Joe Flacco for playing a couple games, and then you got the assistant coach of the year, second place Ben Johnson, first place Jim Schwartz. So here's the thing, for all the attention that the Lions got this year, clearly the NFL said the Browns. The Browns are the most shocking team. Well, they were the surprise team this year. It was the Browns. They had the best coach and the best assistant coach and the most surprising quarterback coming back for a couple games. That was the squad right there.
Was this the Browns, the 2020 or something? Like what? I'm confused. Which Browns?
I don't remember the Browns being that great this year. They was cool. They did have a good defense.
Top tier defense.
I still don't. I think Ben Johnson should have been the assistant coach of the year. I think that's another one. I feel like it was a robbery. But anywho, I feel like the Lions did more with less. Y'all talked about we have rookies. We have two All Pro rookies on our on. Come on, come on. Look, I don't have to. I'm just not going to go
We
into
literally
detail here.
have
I
an
mean,
all-pro tight end,
who's a rookie?
who's a rookie, two Pro Bowl rookies. They have two. That's another thing. It's making me more upset because now you think about it,
Doesn't
like
make sense.
in regards to Dan Campbell, you're just like, well, he coached all these guys to all these all pros. We have three all pros, three first team all pros, right? Three,
Absolutely.
three. Okay, three. Then we had what? Six Pro Bowlers. Six is I want to say six, five or six, somewhere in that
We had
range. I want to say it
Aiden,
was Aiden.
St. Brown,
We St. Brown. We had both our linemen. We had Frank. We had Penne. We had Gibbs.
Gibbs, and we had
That's five.
and we had special teams. Buddy, the
Oh
linebacker. I can't. Reeves Maven.
Reeves Maven.
Jalen. Yeah.
So six. So we had
Yeah.
six.
Yeah. We had six.
Six.
Yeah. We had six.
Six Pro Bowlers. Three All Pros. All right. I cut the rant button off. I forgot. Let me.
Yeah. It's all good. On to next year. I just wanted to bring that up to make you mad real quick because I know you saw you saw the same stuff I was watching. What was that yesterday? So,
but for everybody
so
listening and watching, G genuinely enjoys bringing toxic energy out of me. Like it's one of his favorite pastimes.
Yeah, bro. We gonna get Mark out of his shell by the time this is over.
He always say I'm so political.
Yeah, we're gonna have him ranting about something that is because I feel like I'm always I haven't really done it on this pod too much, but I am very irrational sometimes. So I'm just trying to get his irrational side out. You know, he always so straight down the line and just like, you know, everything is cool, everything's happening the way it's supposed to be happening. Okay. All right. Sometimes you need a little bit of irrational.
I was supposed to be a politician in another life, man. That's all.
Yeah, because the sports take me there, especially Detroit sports. Yeah. So it is what it is.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
We
and I robbed. Know I was trying to be political with Weaver earlier today, but we'll have another rant.
Oh man,
we'll have another rant.
All right, true. Well, I don't know what to say about him. So
anyway, really appreciate
taking
guys.
The team to hell in a handbasket. It's terrible.
Thank you to everybody who's been taking the time to like and share and post and comment on the reels and different things like that. Man, we appreciate you guys. Everybody, this is an announcement for everybody, right? We need all you guys to continue to share this pod, continue to tell people about it. We need y'all support to continue to get it out more and more. So everything that you do helps. Anything, whether it's sharing, whether it's giving 5 stars on Apple Pod, different things like that. Go on YouTube. We need more viewers on YouTube. Look at you can look at us and see our expressions and see the fun that we're having. So continue to share it and continue to hit that like button on YouTube. We're here for y'all. Keep subscribing. We appreciate y'all. Thanks y'all for joining. We'll see y'all for the next episode next week. Peace.